So I was thinking about female friendship a lot, and by the way, these two women, I'm very honored to say, have been my friends for a very long time, too.
Yes, we have.
One of the things that I read about female friendship is something that Cervantes said. He said, you know, you can tell a lot about someone, in this case a woman, by the company that she keeps. So let's start with...
We're in big trouble.
Hand me one of those waters. I'm extremely dry.
You're taking up our time. We have a very limited...
Just being with her sucks the life out of me.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Anyway,
so
sorry.
Tell me, what do you look for in a friend?
I look for someone who has a sense of fun, who's audacious, who's forthcoming, who has politics, who has even a small scrap of passion for the planet, someone who's decent, has a sense of justice, and who thinks I'm worthwhile.
You know, I was thinking this morning, I don't even know what I would do without my women friends. I mean, I have my friends, therefore I am. No, it's true. I exist because I have my women friends. You're one of them. I don't know about you, but anyway, they make me stronger. They make me smarter. They make me braver. They tap me on the shoulder when I might be in need of course correcting. And most of them are a good deal younger than me, too. You know, I mean, it's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I do. I include you in that because, listen, you know, it's nice to have somebody still around to play with and learn from when you're getting toward the end.
I'm glad.
And I'm approaching. I'll be there sooner than you.
I'm glad to have you parallel aging alongside me.
I'm showing you the way. No,
well, you are, and you have.
Yeah.
Well, as we grow older and as we go through different kinds of life's journeys, what do you do to keep your friendships vital and alive?
Well, you have to use a lot of...
She doesn't invite me over much, I'll tell you that.
I have to use a lot of social media. You'll be quiet now. And so... I look through my emails, I look through my texts to find my friends so I can answer them as quickly as possible because I know they need my counsel. They need my support because most of my friends are writers or activists or actors, and you're all three, and a long string of other descriptive phrases. And I want to get to you as soon as possible. I want you to know that I'm there for you.
Do you do emojis?
Oh.
No?
That's embarrassing.
I'm really into emojis.
No, I spell out my words of happiness and congratulations and sadness.
You spell it right out there.
I spell it every letter.
Such a purist. You know, as I've gotten older, I've understood more the importance of friendships, and so I really make an effort to reach out and make play dates, not let too much time go by. I read a lot, so as Lily knows all too well, I send my books that I like, I send to my friends.
When we knew we would be here today, you sent me a lot of books about women, female friendships, and I was so surprised to see how many books, how much research has been done recently.
And were you grateful?
I was grateful. And wait, no, it's really important because this is another example of how women are overlooked, put aside, marginalized. There's been very little research done on us, even though we've volunteered lots of times.
That's for sure.
No, this is really exciting, and you all will be interested in this. The Harvard Medical School study has shown that women who have close female friendships are less likely to develop impairments, physical impairments as they age, and they are likely to be seen to be living much more vital, exciting,
and longer,
joyful lives.
We live 5 years longer than men.
I think I'd trade the years for joy. But the most important part is they found the results were so exciting and so conclusive that the researchers found that not having close female friends is detrimental to your health as much as smoking or being overweight.
Wow. And and there's something else too.
I've said my part, so.
Okay, well, listen to my part, because
Okay.
there's an additional thing that, because for years, decades, they only researched men when they were trying to understand stress. Only very recently have they researched what happens to women when we're stressed. And it turns out that when we're stressed, women, our bodies get flooded by oxytocin, which is a feel-good, calming, stress-reducing hormone, which is also is increased when we're with our women friends. And I do think that's one reason why we live longer. And I feel so bad for men because they don't have that. Testosterone in men diminishes the effects of oxytocin.
Well, when you and I and Dolly made 9 to 5,
Oh,
we laughed so much. We found we had so much in common, and it's so different. Here she is like Hollywood royalty. I'm like a tough kid from Detroit. She's a southern kid from a poor town in Tennessee, and we found we were so in sync as women, and we laughed till we must have added at least a decade
Probably.
onto our lifespan.
I think. We sure crossed our legs a lot. If you know what I mean.
Well, I feel like I'm adding a
we all
decade
know
right
what you
now.
mean.
As a matter of fact. You're adding decades to our lives right now. So among the books that Jane sends us both to read on female friendship was one by a woman we admire greatly, Sister Joan Chistiter, who said about female friendship that women friends are not just a social act, they're a spiritual act. Do you think of your friends as spiritual? Do they add something spiritual to your lives?
Spiritual, I absolutely think that. And because especially people you've known a long time, people you've spent time with, I can see the spiritual essence inside them, the tenderness, the vulnerability. There's actually kind of an element of love in the relationship. I just see deeply into your soul.
Do you think that, Jane, most
I have
friendships
special
want to go that
powers.
deep?
Well, there's all kinds of friends. There's, business friends and party friends. I got a lot of those. But the oxytocin producing friendships they feel spiritual because it's a heart opening, right? We go deep, and I find that I shed tears a lot with my intimate friends. Not because I'm sad, but because I'm so touched and inspired by them.
And one of you is going to go soon.
Well, two of us are sitting here, Lily. Which one are you talking about? And I always think when women talk about their friendships that men always look a little mystified. What are the differences, in your opinion, between men friendships and women friendships?
There's a lot of difference, and I think we have to have a lot of empathy for men that they don't have what we have, which I think may be why they die sooner. I have a lot of compassion for men because women, no kidding, women's relationships, our friendships are full disclosure. We go deep. They're revelatory. We risk vulnerability. This is something men don't do, I mean, how many times have I asked you, am I doing okay? Did I really screw up there? That
You're
kind
doing
of
great.
But I mean, we ask questions like that of our women friends, and men don't. People describe women's relationships as face to face, whereas men's friendships are more side by side.
I mean, most of the time, men don't want to reveal their emotions. They want to bury deeper feelings. I mean, that's the general conventional thought. They would rather go off in their man cave and watch a game or hit golf balls or talk about sports or hunting or cars or have sex. I mean, it's just it's a more manly behavior.
You meant that they talk about sex?
I meant,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
they
we
might
talk
have
about
sex if they
too.
could get somebody in their man cave to...
But something really, though, that I find very interesting, and again, psychologists didn't know this until relatively recently, is that men are born every bit as relational as women are. If you look at films of newborn baby boys and girls, you'll see the baby boys, just like the girls, gazing into their mother's eyes, needing that relational exchange of energy. When the mother looks away, they could see the dismay on the child. Even the boy would cry. They need relationships. So the question is, why, as they grow older, does that change? And the answer is patriarchal culture, which says to boys and young men that to be needy of relationship, to be emotional with someone is girly. That a real man is, doesn't ask directions or express a need, or, they don't go to doctors if they feel bad. They don't ask for help. There's a quote that I really like. Men fear that becoming we will erase his I, his sense of self. Whereas women's sense of self has always been kind of porous, but our we is our saving grace. It's what makes us strong. It's not that we're better than men, we just don't have our masculinity to prove.
And
that's a Gloria Steinem quote.
No.
So we can express our humanity. I know you know who she is, but I think it's No, but it's a great quote, I think. We're not better than men, we just don't have our masculinity to prove. And that's really important.
But men are so inculcated in the culture to be comfortable in the patriarchy, and we've got to make something different happen.
Well,
women's friendships are like a renewable source of power.
That's what's exciting about this subject, is because our friendships, female friendships, are just a hop to our sisterhood. And sisterhood can be a very powerful force to give the world, to make it what it should be, the things that humans desperately need.
It is why we're talking about it, because women's friendships are, as you said, Jane, a renewable source of power. So how do we use that power?
Well, women are the fastest growing demographic in the world, especially older women. And if we harness our power, we can change the world. And guess what? We need to. And we need to do it soon. And one of the things that we need to do, and we can do it as women, for one thing, we kind of set the consumer standards. We need to consume less. We in the Western world need to consume less, and when we buy things, we need to buy things that are made locally. When we buy food, we need to buy food that's grown locally. We are the ones that need to get off the grid. We need to make ourselves independent from fossil fuels. And the fossil fuel companies, the Exxons and the Shell Oils and those bad guys, because they are going to tell us that we can't do it without going back to the Stone Age. That the alternatives just aren't quite there yet, and that's not true. There are countries in the world right now that are living mostly on renewable energy and doing just fine. And they tell us that if we do wean ourselves from fossil fuel, that we're going to be back in the Stone Age. And in fact, if we begin to use renewable energy and not drill in the Arctic and not drill in the Alberta tar sands, yeah, right, that we will be, there'll be more democracy and more jobs and more well-being. And it's women that are going to lead the way.
Maybe we have the momentum to start a third wave feminist movement with our sisterhood around the world, with women we don't see, women we may never meet, but we join together that way. Because, our Aristotle said most people would die without male friendships, and the operative word here was male.
Yeah.
And because they thought that friendships should be between equals, and women were not considered equal.
They didn't think we had souls, even,
no,
the Greeks.
Exactly. Yeah. That shows you just how limited Aristotle was. And wait, no, here's the best part. It's like, men do need women now. The planet needs women. The U.S. Constitution needs women. We are not even in the Constitution.
You're talking about the Equal Rights Amendment.
Right.
Yes.
Justice Ginsburg said something like, since every constitution that's been written since the end of World War II included a provision that made women citizens of equal stature, but ours does not. So that would be a good place to start. Very, very mild.
Right. And gender equality, it's like a tide. It would lift all boats, not
It
just
would.
women.
Needing new role models on how to do that, how to be friends, how to think about our power in different ways as consumers, as citizens of the world. And this is what makes Jane and Lily a role model of how women can be friends for a very long time, and even if they occasionally disagree. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Thanks.
She's getting up reluctantly.
Thank you.